Willing to go.
How old is he?
He is 69. So he's not
nice.
He's not, yeah, nice. He's not getting any shorter in age. He can. It's going to depend on when Boeheim retires. I'm convinced Boeheim is going to coach until he dies.
I mean, much to the chagrin of Syracuse fans, because I don't know if you read the message boards for Q's fans about the state of the sport.
They seem to be over it. And
they are so over the Jim Boeheim. Oh my goodness. It's like the Bobby Bowden stuff here at Florida State, up there in Q's country.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. JP Estrella didn't help.
No. I think we'll see on that front. But I wonder for Hugs is like, what's left? So is he holding out for like one last great run? Does he want a Big 12 title banner? Like, what is left that keeps him going other than just like he can't think of anything else to do? But I appreciate him a lot as an all-time great character in college basketball. We've never had anybody quite like him. One thing I found out recently is that he has done a yearly fish fry in Morgantown for 11 years. And Bob, if you're listening, I want to attend your fish fry, buddy, because that sounds awesome.
I like it. Well, there you go. I think he'll get in ultimately. Seems like he's got a pretty good case. I think he's going to be in.
The period of time where the media hated him seems to have subsided. Because that was more like the Kansas State late Cincy era.
Well, there you go. Will, Wrong Coach, a series that, do we want to announce anything about the Wrong Coach stuff?
I'll just be turning this into a series on my blog this year called Yanla Fire My Coach. I think that's how her name is pronounced.
Okay.
Did you ever? I've never seen this show. I just know it exists. Yanla Fix My Life. I think on like TLC probably. I'm guessing. I've never seen this show. I just know it exists. And
the only TLC show that has my loyalty is 90 Day Fiance.
Okay. Whenever you scroll through like the cable listings and you just see a show that's on for 6 hours and you've never seen it before, and you're just like, I wonder what that show is about. But you never watch it. That's that show.
Okay.
Anyway, let's go on with what the question is about.
No, I like it. Well, this week, and look, this is not in bad. Like, this is not a mean-spirited conversation. It's just more of like, hey, there are a multitude of reasons of why coaches work out at some places, why they don't at others. It's tough where you can root for somebody to succeed, and by and large, well-meaning, but it does just happen. You're paid a lot of money to win at big-time jobs, and it just, hey, sometimes you just have to know when to pull the plug, or warning signs where you're like, this probably is not going to turn around the way they are hoping it turns around. And this was another one where it's like he was pretty celebrated at the time of his hire, where it felt like a really good hire. And NC State been down for a while. Our next up in our series, is it the Wrong Coach in Raleigh with Kevin Keatts? What do you think by this point? Are you underwhelmed where he's been at NC State to this point? Do you think there is still reason for optimism that he'll get to where this team needs to go? Do you think he is the coach 2 years from now? Like, where are you at with Keatts and his job performance to this point?
I'm very firmly out on Kevin Keatts. Wrong coach.
Okay. Did you feel that way at the time?
No. Okay. Because when he was at UNC Wilmington, they did some objectively great things. Like, he never finished anywhere other than first in 3 years there in the CAA, which I know like some people, whenever they hear like a mid-major conference name, they're like, whatever. But like the CAA is a pretty competitive and high variety conference. Like, it's rare for teams to go on runs. Like Hofstra, who didn't make the tournament for 20 years, won it 2 times in a row. Like, very recently. So it's rare for a team to sustain like really good success. So like for him to do it 3 years in a row and make 2 tournaments back to back, pretty darn good. So at the time I thought it made perfect sense. Like, here's a guy who is winning a lot. Like, you're not doing the Mark Gottfried thing where you're just doing a retread hire. It was new and fresh, and it's really unfortunate that it hasn't worked out. And I'm not going to pretend to know why it hasn't, because I'm going to admit, like, I'm not an NC State basketball fan. I don't really follow them very closely. I sort of watch from afar. and have been sort of horrified from afar, frankly, at what they've become. But I'm going to say something that is a little hot and could be proven wrong easily.
Okay.
I want to be convinced that there is a coach in high major college basketball that is doing less with more than Kevin Keatts.
Oh, wow.
Because think about it this way. Kevin Keatts is quietly a very good recruiter. They have had some stellar pieces come through. Dennis Smith Jr. is sort of the headliner.
Yeah.
But here's some guys that Kevin Keatts has recruited. Cam Hayes, great recruit. Terquavion Smith, Shaquille Moore, Manny Bates. They've had like guys that programs really wanted, and none of them have gotten better after starting to come to NC State. Not one. I mean, like, it's great that Terquavion Smith, for some reason, decided to come back for a second year there. But we're looking at a program that, and this is from year one to now, and obviously COVID affects this a little bit, but this is just their standing in the ACC by conference record. 3rd, 8th, 6th, 9th, 15th.
Going the wrong way.
So basically, year one, you have Gottfried's leftovers, right? You get into the NCAA tournament. By year two, it's starting to be Keatts recruits in like the last remnants of the Gottfried era. Every single year after that, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And that points to me to a program that doesn't know what its identity should be, doesn't know where it's going, and cannot seem to get out of its own way. And I've been pretty harsh on some coaches on this show. Bobby Hurley, my number one target. But I feel bad for Keatts because I don't think, whenever we talk about coaches, I think it kind of like, it's sort of like the Tom Crean thing we hammered on over and over last year. These guys badly want to win. It's what they want to do more than anything else in the world is win basketball games. Kevin Keatts badly wants to win in NC State, and it just has not worked out. He's fired coaches on his staff. He's made full roster turnovers. He's done all sorts of things to make it work out, and it just hasn't. And at this point, it's probably best for them to separate as soon as possible and try something new.
Is that what you think ultimately happens? They separate? Do you think it's this year? Do you think it's next year?
I think it's this year because, I mean, so Bart Torvik's projections, you can't take them as gospel because projections never come out 100% the truth. But let's say they work out as projected. NC State will finish 12th in the ACC. In year 6, given the resources they have, because they have a top 40 budget in college basketball, which I don't think a lot of people know, mid-pack in the ACC, easily able to achieve like
they care. Like NC State is basketball country.
Yes,
those fans care. Like that's a budget. Yeah, it's a priority.
And not to make an apples to apples comparison with the football program, but the football program is pretty darn good. And
baseball program's great.
Yeah, baseball program's great. And let's not pretend like those two programs have unlimited resources to do really well in the ACC. They're doing more with less. NC State basketball is the opposite. And so, I mean, like, genuinely, when you think of the ACC this year, how many programs can you name that are going to be definitively worse than NC State? Because I can name one, and that's Pittsburgh.
I'd probably say Clemson.
The rest,
Clemson probably, right?
No, I don't think so. Clemson's going to be
Pitt.
Pittsburgh is worse. Louisville might be worse. I think Louisville's just got such a big hole to dig out of, and that might be it. Maybe Syracuse, but Boeheim kind of has a floor of. I know, like, they're not going to be good, but he has a floor.
Yeah, Wake Forest being really good now with Forbes being a home run hire for them. That's not great for NC State too. And
that's the thing is like, so let's say they fire Keatts, which I think is the odds-on favorite. Forbes should be the top call, but it's going to be it because like their budget is just higher than Wake Forest. By design. I don't know that he would jump.
Yeah.
So then it gets to like, all right, I think any of the next 3 would be good hires. And frankly, look, it's always a spinning the wheel situation of like roulette works out for you or it doesn't. Like I thought Archie Miller was going to be freaking fantastic in Indiana, and that didn't happen. So any of these 3, I think, are worth the call. Like Mike Rhodes at VCU, Richie McKay at Liberty. And then the biggest upside hire of them all, Kim English at George Mason, depending on how they do this year.
Hold on. No, we're not allowing this because Kim is on hold until Rick Barnes retires. Like, that is how that works. We have dibs. Kim English is the head coach in waiting at Tennessee until Rick Barnes is ready to move on.
But part of the problem for them is that they really should have done it. They had an easy natural out after they finished dead last in the ACC this past season. That was the natural separation point to me.
Yeah.
But now, think about, because like when you think about the hottest hot seats coming into this season, I know you don't think of NC State and Georgetown traditionally as going after the same players or the same pool. But when I think about the two programs, they're going to be going after basically the exact same coaches. Like Georgetown's list is going to be like Ed Cooley, Richie McKay, Mike Rhodes, Kim English. Those are going to be like 4 of the top good guys that they can reasonably get. And NC State shares 3 members of that list with them. So, and Georgetown is going to pay more and be in a better situation. So that's kind of like you waited a little too late, guys. So I don't know. They still should be able to get a good hire, but
Will Wade?
I think Will Wade's going to be catching that show cause real soon. By the way, my own comment there, because people, Pat 40, way to go, buddy, misreporting which LSU infraction it was today. Whenever it is Will Wade's time to face his reckoning, Donnie Tyndall better be ready to press that lawsuit button if Will Wade's not getting 11 years.
Donnie Tyndall. I think he's at Chipola Community College now.
Is he not still doing the wrestling promotion? He was for a minute.
I think he's coaching at a community college, Chipotle. That's like he's
coaching at Chipotle. He is helping them make the chicken. Donnie Tyndall is working on the fajita veggies. He's working the line, and we love to see it.
Are you a Chipotle guy?
Yeah. Barbaritos is better and Dos Pros is better. But
that was the saddest I've ever heard anyone give to
because people really love having a take on Chipotle. Like they either love it or hate it. And there's a period of my life where I loved it, but now I would say it's probably 3rd in the pecking order.
I had an old roommate who had it for lunch and dinner every single day.
That's extreme.
They catered his birthday. I got to the house and the whole house had like a full on just Chipotle catering thing. It was
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, when you spend if you do the math, it's like a couple grand over the course of a year just on Chipotle. But you got to do what you got to do. And